Hi YouTube, it's Rochelle. Today is a very important day for me. Today is the 26th of June 2018 and this marks my 1 year living full-time as female. It might not be a big thing for most people, but for me it's a huge milestone. Looking back when I first came out and I started my transition, it was just scary and I didn't quite know what I was doing or how to go about it or what to do. I was sort of like in this limbo of mess. But over the last 16 months I've sort of figured a lot of it out, and I've figured out what works and what doesn't work and what to do and what not to do. But I think it's been okay. Well, I'm still here, so that's a big positive. So looking back, the day I decided to go full-time, that was quite a big decision to make, because it didn't only affect me, it affected my family, it affected my friends, it affected my work colleagues, it affected just about everyone in my daily life. Before I went full-time, I was living part-time and only representing as female on like weekends and mostly after hours. The day came around where I had this feeling of, I don't know quite how to put it. It felt like I was being dishonest, switching back and forth, and it just didn't mentally work well for me. I was lying to the people around me, and I was basically lying to myself. And I sat down and I said to myself, you know what, this is not working. I can't do this anymore. So after speaking to my HR department at work, and I said to them, listen, it's now time. I'd like to go full-time and represent as female when I'm at work as well. So they called a few people in and discussed it with upper management and a few people here and there, and they came back to me 2 days later and said, right, we are ready when you are. And I said, this was on the Thursday, because that following Monday was the day that I went full-time at work. So that following Monday morning I got up early and I did my hair. It was a lot shorter than what it is now. If you go into my Facebook, you will see I put a post on with the photo of on the morning at work that I took of myself, marking the day that I went full-time. So looking at that photo does bring back a lot of memories and feelings, and how scary it was, and because it's you stepping into not only a new world but a new self-image in front of others that most of them didn't actually know. So it was quite scary. But the first month went by and I had a lot of strange looks, and I had a lot of comments, and some good, some not so good. But you know what, you can't have the good without the bad. Life has to balance out. And then month number 2 went by, and then month number 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and then I sort of kind of got used to it, and like that was just another day for me, and it began to feel normal, you know, getting up in the morning and doing the hair and putting the makeup on and double checking the makeup before you leave for work, and getting in the car and having to drive with the windows up, because I used to love the air blowing in my face. It was like so awesome. But no, you can't do that with long hair, unfortunately, because especially frizzy hair, because you end up with this scary thing like this by the time you get to your destination. But yeah, I've noticed that you take a lot more care of your hair and of the way you look and the way you present yourself, and you start observing others and you start sort of blending in. This all happens on a subconscious level, so you aren't really that aware of it. But if I look back at some of the photos and videos of the past, I can definitely see a massive change, especially in the last 6 months. So it's been a learning curve. It's just been such a journey, and now I know why they say when you transition it's a journey, because you go from one place to the next and you get comfortable with that, and then you move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So yeah, back to going full-time. So I rocked up that morning at work and walked in and I said, "Good morning, everyone." And everyone's jaws and eyes sort of like, wow. And I just stood there and I smiled and I said, well, this is me and this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it, but I'm fine with it. So you don't like it, that's your problem. The first week was a bit rough, but then it started to get better, and it's been getting better ever since. Every month it gets better, and yeah, it's an ongoing thing. It's days of improvement and months of improvement, little changes here and there that make a very big difference. Going full-time for some, especially when they are not out at work, can be troublesome. I know of a few people who have actually lost their employment because they came out as trans and wanted to go full-time. Unfortunately, that is the sad reality of today. The world's not quite in the position where they accept all of us as we are. So the world needs to work on that a little bit more, I think. But the world is changing. It's changing every day. It's changing every week. It's changing every month. One of these days in the near future, I hope that all trans people will be accepted as normal people, and they can just carry on with their lives like normal people do. Because, I mean, we are normal people. It's just that the inside doesn't quite match the outside, and that's the problem. But those things can change, and we change ourselves, and we grow and we learn, and it's all for the better. So, going full-time, wow. Been a year, been an exciting, interesting year, full of challenges and full of ups and full of downs. But going full-time is probably the most liberating experience a trans person can actually have, because it shows other people that exactly who you are, and that you're serious about what you're doing, and you are serious about how you feel. Living part-time, people sort of like, they can't quite make up their mind what they want to do. So going full-time it does help people understand a little bit more about you, and you get a lot of what they call real life experience. I know some people don't believe in it, and I know some people think it's just a gatekeeping exercise. I don't think so. I think it's quite important that you get to experience full life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as the gender you want to represent. I think this is important. This is important to live that aspect and know that every minute of every day, every week, every month, that you are living who you truly are, and you get a feel for what you are and who you are inside, and you represent that to the outside world. And I think it was one of the milestones I had to get over, that helped me also accept that, you know, I am trans and there's nothing I can do about it, and living full-time actually made my life better. It made me feel better. It made me happier. It made me have a better quality of life. And as a trans person, I think that is the whole aim of transitioning, you know, to have a better life, to feel better about your life, to feel better about yourself. And so that when others look at you, they can get a better understanding. Okay, you know what? They living the life, so it must be true. It must be accurate. This is really who they are. And before going full-time, some of my family and friends didn't quite accept that I was trans. They thought it was just a phase I was going through. But about 4 or 5 months after I went full-time, they started to get the picture. You know what? She's really who she says she is, and we can see that. So I think for every trans person that is able to go full-time, I know there's a lot of you out there that can't because of family commitments and work commitments that might put themselves in serious trouble, a concern for their own safety and their family's safety. So I do understand not everyone can go full-time. No transition is the same. Everyone transitions differently. Everyone has a different outlook on life. People do things differently. So in this subject, I speak about my feelings and my experiences alone. I do not speak for other trans people. I just wanted to make that specifically clear. Going full-time in the beginning, let's be honest, if you're on the early stages of HRT and you still look quite manly, it's a bit rough. It's hard because you look like shit, and you know you look like shit, but you just do it because you need to. You need to do it to survive. And any trans person that I see out on the street or wherever I go, and I can visibly see they are trans, you know, they are representing as the gender that they feel inside, but they don't look that great. You know what, I'll give that person a bells, because really it's hard. It's hard doing it. It's hard knowing that you don't look very good, but yet you go out into the world as the person you are inside. There's nothing more authentic than doing it, because you are who you are, and showing people that you are who you are and not backing down for anyone or anything, that above all aspects, that is true courage. That takes guts. Anyone who is able to do that, that takes some serious guts. If you're not serious about transitioning or being trans, and you try and go full time, you realize very quickly that that's not for you. And I know a few people who have actually tried that and backed off and said no, this is not, this feels wrong. So living full time, is it a gatekeeping exercise, or is it real life living experience for a reason? That is up to you to decide. But from my point of view, yes, I would recommend that you do this, because it's vital on your journey. It makes you stronger. It makes you look deeper into things. It makes you, how can I put it? It separates the wannabes from the bees, Yeah. So that's about it, really. There's not much more to say on that subject of going full time. It's just something that you do, and you need to do it. So best advice to anyone out there that wants to go full time: yes, it is hard. Yes, you're going to face discrimination. Yes, you're not going to look pretty sometimes, especially if you are in the early stages of transition, when you do decide to go full time, like I did. But it kind of makes you strong, and that is something that you need while you're going through transition. Is you need that strength. You need that strength. Trust me. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, going full time, you either agree with it or you don't agree with it, but it's inevitable to happen in the beginning stages, in the mid stages, or at the end stages. Every trans person does at some stage go full time. You can't avoid it, because that is your authentic self. So yeah, any questions or any comments, please leave it in the little thing below, and I'll try and answer them as best as what I can. So from Michelle, love you all. Be true to yourself and others around you. Bye.